Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Pervin Akter, Professor and Head, Department of Physiology, Bashundhara Ad-din Medical College. Today I am going to discuss my topic on sensory system of the body, that includes sensory receptor and ascending tracts. First, the sensation. Sensation means perception of change. Sensation or perception is the conscious awareness of stimuli received by sensory receptor. Modality of sensation. Modality of sensation is the each of the principal type of sensation that we can experience, that is pain, touch, sound, sight and so forth. And classification of sensation, there are two types of sensation, general sensation and special sensation. General sensation is further classified into somatic sensation and visceral sensation. Somatic sensation are sensation received by the receptors distributed all over the body, that is pain, touch, pressure, cold, etc. And visceral sensation are pain, baroreceptor, chemoreceptor, etc. And special sensation. Special sensation are receptors located only at some special region of our body, that is vision, audition, olfaction, gustatory or taste and equilibrium. Now the sensory receptor. Receptors are biological transducer that convert different type of energy in the environment into nerve action potential. Now the classification of sensory receptor. First, the mechanoreceptor. Examples are skin tactile sensitivity, free nerve endings, Merkel discs, spray endings, raffinus endings, encapsulated endings, Cossas capsule, Wisner's corpuscle, free nerve endings, spray endings, muscle endings, hearing, equilibrium, vestibular receptor, arterial pressure. Example হচ্ছে baroreceptor of carotid sinus and aortic receptor. Number 2 is thermoreceptor. For cold, cold receptor, warmth, warm receptor. Number 3, nociceptor, pain. For pain, free nerve endings. Number 4, electromagnetic receptor, vision, receptor are rods and cone. Chemoreceptor, taste, receptors are receptor of taste bud, smell, receptor of olfactory epithelium, arterial oxygen, receptor of aortic and carotid bodies. Osmolarity, neurons in or near supraoptic nuclei, blood carbon dioxide, receptors in or surface of medulla and in aortic and carotid bodies, blood glucose, amino acid, fatty acid, receptors in hypothalamus. Now the properties of receptors. First, number 1 is excitability, number 2 receptor potential, number 3 differential sensitivity, number 4 the Levenland principle or doctrine of specific nerve energies, number 5 law of projection, number 6 recruitment, number 7 intensity discrimination is adaptation. Now the excitability. Receptors are excited by different type of stimulus such as electrical, mechanical and chemical, etc. What is receptor potential? Changing the electrical potential across the receptor membrane called the receptor potential. A stimulus changes the membrane permeability of the receptor, allows ion to diffuse through the membrane. It is non-propagating, localized, but it is graded. When it rises above the threshold level, action potential occur in the nerve fiber attached to the receptor. This figure shows the receptor potential is converted into the action potential. Here the resting moment potential when rises into the threshold level, it converts the resting moment potential into the action potential. Now the differential sensitivity. Each type of receptor is highly sensitive to one specific type of stimulus for which it is designed. এখানে বোঝা যাচ্ছে যে প্রত্যেকটা রিসেপ্টরের জন্য একটা স্পেসিফিক টাইপ অফ স্টিমুলাস আছে ফর হুইচ ইট ইজ ডিজাইন, নন রেসপন্সিভ টু আদার টাইপ অফ স্টিমুলি। প্রত্যেকটা রিসেপ্টরের জন্য আলাদা করে স্টিমুলাস আছে। লেভেল লাইন প্রিন্সিপল অর ডক্ট্রিন অফ স্পেসিফিক নার্ভ এনার্জিস। The specificity of nerve fiber for transmitting only one modality of sensation is called the level line principle. এক একটা নার্ভ ফাইবার শুধুমাত্র এক একটা মডালিটি অফ সেন্সেশনকে ক্যারি করে। যেমন এক পেনের জন্য একটা নার্ভ ফাইবার, টাচের জন্য একটা নার্ভ ফাইবার, তারপর হচ্ছে কোল্ডের জন্য একটা নার্ভ ফাইবার। এটাকে বলা হচ্ছে the specificity of nerve fiber for transmitting only one modality of sensation. Next the adaptation. যদি আমরা কনস্ট্যান্ট স্টিমুলেশন করি তাহলে কি হচ্ছে রিসেপ্টরগুলো একসময় লেস রেসপন্সিভ এবং লাস্টে গিয়ে কি হয়ে যাবে, এটা নন রেসপন্সিভ হয়ে যাবে। তাহলে এটাকে বলা হচ্ছে কি অ্যাডাপ্টেশন। রেপিডলি অ্যাডাপ্টিং রিসেপ্টর হচ্ছে কি প্রেসার রিসেপ্টর, যেটা হচ্ছে কি প্রেসিনিয়ান কর্পাসল, অ্যান্ড স্লোলি অ্যাডাপ্টিং রিসেপ্টর হচ্ছে কি মাসেল স্পিন্ডেল। Now the ascending tract. Tracts are a bundle of nerve fiber in the central nervous system carrying one or group of senses, either sensory or motor to the brain or from the brain. Ascending tracts are sensory and descending tracts are motor. Ascending tract. In the dorsal column system, tracts are tract of Gall and tract of Budak. And anterolateral system, tracts are anterior spinothalamic tract, lateral spinothalamic tract, spinocerebellar, spinovestibular, spinoolivary, spinotectal, spinoreticular, and then spinocortical. Now I discuss about the tract of Gall and tract of Budak. Origin. Made up of axon of the bipolar cell of the posterior root ganglia, and tract of Budak receive afferent fiber from the upper half of the body, and tract of Gall receive afferent fiber from the lower half of the body. Course. First order neuron axon of dorsal root ganglia enters into the spinal cord, ascends through the dorsal column and ends in the dorsal medulla. Synapse in the dorsal column nuclei, gracile and cunate nuclei in the medulla respectively, and second order neuron arise. Then second order neuron decussate immediately to the opposite side of the brain stem along with the medial lemniscus and enter into the thalamus, and then third order neuron arise. Then pass through the posterior limb of the internal capsule and end in the postcentral gyrus of the cerebral cortex. This is the figure of the dorsal column medial lemniscal system and shows the course of the tract of Gall and tract of Budak. And what is the function of the dorsal column medial lemniscal system? It is the fine touch, tactile localization, tactile discrimination, and the kinesthetic sensation. And what are the function of anterior spinothalamic tract? And function of the anterior spinothalamic tract is the crude touch and pressure. And function of the lateral spinothalamic tract is the pain and temperature. Now the pathway of pain. Receptor of the pain is the free nerve ending, and fast pain is nerve fiber হচ্ছে delta A fiber and slow pain is the C fiber. Sensory nerve fiber from the receptor enter the spinal cord through the dorsal root ganglia, synapse in the posterior horn cell and second order neuron arise. Second order neuron then goes to the opposite side of the same segment of the spinal cord and then ascend in the lateral column of the cord as the lateral spinothalamic tract, pass through the midbrain, pons and medulla and terminate in thalamus and third order neuron arise. Then third order neuron terminate in the postcentral gyrus through the posterior limb of the internal capsule. And this is the figure of the pathway of the pain. Now, what is the referred pain? Referred pain is the irritation of a viscous, frequently produces pain which is felt not in the viscous but in some somatic structure that may be a considerable distance away. Such pain is said to be referred pain to the somatic structure. The common site of pain referral in the referral of cardiac pain in the inner aspect of the left arm and pain in the tip of the shoulder caused by irritation of the central portion of the diaphragm. And mechanism of referred pain. Due to branches of visceral pain fibers synapse in the spinal cord on the same second order neuron that receive pain signal from the skin. And when the visceral pain fiber is stimulated, pain signal from the viscera are conducted through the same neuron that conduct pain signals from the skin, and person has the feeling that sensation originate in the skin itself. It is the same nerve innervation. Same nerve innervation এর জন্য মনে হচ্ছে যে একই জায়গা থেকে পেনটা originate হচ্ছে. This is the mechanism of referred pain, and this is all about my lecture on the sensory system of the body. So, Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum.